Everybody, welcome back to Market Mamas. We're so glad you guys are here with us again. So today we're pretty excited because we have another trader to introduce. This is Francisco, and he actually was first with us in our group interview a couple of months ago, one of our earlier interviews. And so today we're pretty ready to go deeper into his personal experience with learning to trade and what his experience has been. So thank you so much for being here with us, Francisco. We're excited to share your journey with our Market Mamas community as well.
Thanks, Becky. Thanks, Kendra. Happy to be here and happy to share my journey thus far.
Awesome. Yes, thank you so much for sitting with us today. We know that you took the same course where Becky and I first met and then eventually moved on and joined another community, same as Becky. So I'm curious, did you have, right? Did you have any prior trading experience and what brought you to trading even in the first place?
So I had zero trading experience prior to joining our course. But in December of 2020 is when I first really got introduced, or where I decided, hey, I think investing is kind of cool. So I signed up to this um, subscription service, Motley Fool, where they, handpick a couple of stocks or several stocks for you to choose. And so I had no type of fundamental or technical analysis. And so I just kind of went in blindly and opened up a Robinhood account and just went ahead and started, buying stocks that folks were recommending. And so I had a portfolio of about 12 to 15 stocks or so, some that I picked and some that, were suggested. Then I ended up following this person online, and they put me onto Dogecoin, and I like those stuff. Yeah, and so after Dogecoin took off and I made some gains, um, I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm seeing some kind of positive results. And then there was this one stock that he kept talking about. Hey, this is going to change everything, and it was Coinbase. And this was supposed to drop our IPO. I don't know what IPO was, at that point. And it coincided that it IPO'd on the same day that my firstborn son, was born. And so I'm in the delivery room, uh, or I'm sorry, recovery room, while he's maybe an hour or so old. I had put in about, a large chunk of my savings into the Robinhood account, waiting for it to IPO. As it did, I like it, buy, and just watched it. And then after I, cut my losses, and I said, okay, I need to learn how to actually do this and read this before I actually do this again. And so that's what inspired me to, gave me the impetus to actually educate myself and invest in myself and my education to actually learn what I was doing as opposed to just blindly following someone else. And yeah, that's what ended up getting me into trading.
Okay, that's so funny because literally I think our journeys are actually pretty similar because I also subscribed to Motley Fool in the beginning and had an E-Trade account where I like dabbled in the stocks that they told me to and got on the Dogecoin bandwagon for a minute there, which was like this. There's a lot of parallels between how all of us get in, I think. It's like you find something, you get early success, you get hooked, and then you take your first big hit and you take a lesson you didn't even know was going to be a lesson. And then you're like, time to learn. It's funny. Okay. So you actually, I believe, from our experience in our similar communities, that you're predominantly a futures day trader like us, right? So was that always the case, or did you trade anything else? Swing trading, options? Where are you at now?
Yeah, so I'm solely a futures trader, especially since the beginning of 2023. I did try my hand at options, but I didn't really have the capacity to really invest myself time and energy as my family was growing, and as we were coming out of the pandemic, work was starting to be more in person and meetings and everything. So I decided to just solely focus on futures trading. I mostly, about 80 to 90% of my focus is on the NQ market. And I also track ES because it's a quarterback. So wherever ES goes, usually that's where other indices go. But it's really the opportunity to wake up every morning when most people are, still asleep, and it's really an opportunity to be more creative in a way where I don't really consider myself to be a really creative person or artistic or anything like that. And so this is really an opportunity for me to kind of really challenge myself and not only compete against billions of traders or algorithms, but really competitive against myself and proving something to myself to always be the best person that I could be. That's what I really like about day trading.
Mhm. I love that. Yes, trading is very much an art, and it gives us an opportunity to compete against ourselves, 1% better each day. That's been my new motto lately. 1% better each day gets us to the top 1%.
I love it.
We're claiming that right here on this interview, right? So let us know, what was your biggest psychological hurdle to overcome? And now that you have advanced along on your journey, how have the psychological struggles, became any easier, or what does it look like for you now?
The biggest psychological hurdle, especially within, when I first got onto live trading and that first year of trading, was really believing or having this ideal that I could achieve this and achieve consistency and profitability semi quickly, knowing that I had some kind of understanding or a grounded understanding on technical analysis, and not really understanding the types of psychological hurdles that go deep within your psyche, within your childhood, and within ingrained beliefs that ultimately um, transfer or impact your trading abilities. So trading can be, in a sense, addictive if you don't understand what you have to do to fill your own cup, so that you don't have to continue to feel like you have to go fill your cup in another different way through trading. So feeling the itch to trade, especially in that first year, like from 6:30, then going to work, and then having one monitor with your charts, and then your other monitor with your emails and whatever it is that you're doing, like that's not a big. So I'm glad that the first year and a half where I did do that, that's no longer a facet of my training, and just really being content with sticking to your trading session, and whether it's a win, loss, if you follow your plan, and if you didn't, making sure that you reflect on it and grow from each one of those learning things. And if you did follow your plan, you knocked it out of the park, great, be content, come on to the next day. That's it. Take it off.
That's the way to be. That's like the best morning, because then you can have the whole rest of your day and a fulfilled life, and it's great energy to carry on with. Well, let's see. So, Market Mamas, we're all about giving people the raw, real facts about the actual struggle of traders, whether or not you're still struggling or you're at regular consistency. So, did you ever have a period that you would consider your lowest low? And can you share with us what that looked like, and how you felt on the outside as well as on the inside?
Mm. Yeah, I can definitely pinpoint that was my lowest low in trading. It also coincided with, some personal uh, struggles that I was going through. So that was in October of 2022. From May of that year till about mid-October, I was like crushing, like doing really good, both personal life and in trading. Uh, and so I was developing a very, uh, uh, how would I say, I was like,
Confidence.
not even confidence. It was like overconfidence. Like my chest was out all the time, right? But then something happened, right, in my personal life where it really reverted back to like some childhood traumatic experiences where like my confidence shot all the way down to the lowest low. And so not only did that impact me in my personal life, but obviously it impacted my trading. And so I had built up my account to a certain point where I was like, okay, there's a certain like numerical value that I was just over the hump of getting. And once I crossed it, it was like, it almost seemed like that was the finish line and not the next step up. And as soon as I crossed it, I started to over leverage. I was like, well, I was already trading about 4 contracts, and then I was going even heavier after that. And so that took a huge hit on my account. And so not only was I, struggling, uh, it was impacting my trading account. It was impacting, my mood. I wasn't working out as regularly. I was feeling depressed. I went back to my therapist and like whatever was impacting me personally with my trading abilities, and kind of, halt. So then I took a step back from trading, for about a month, focused on other issues. I knew that I had my dissertation proposal defense coming up, and so I focused on that. And then once that was complete, I started to ease back into trading, went back on sim, and then started trading, micros, and then sized up to one contract. And so building up that consistency was, or at least that confidence was one of my ways in which to kind of like remind myself of where I was. And then, I was in that funk for almost a little over a year almost. And so then something else happened where I was like, there it is. That's what confidence came back, pep in the step was there, and it was amazing.
Wow. That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, because that's just such a testimony to, we will go through those low periods and have huge obstacles and setbacks, especially in this, journey, this arena. But in addition to everything you shared with us, what habits and routines since becoming a trader have you practiced or developed to help serve your growth process and your mindset?
So first thing I do when I wake up is, I'm grateful, give thanks, I pray for everything, for being able to wake up another day. Next thing is I go and make a nice big pot of coffee, nice and strong, drink it black. Take about 10 to 15 minutes to write into my gratitude journal, to just really identify what is it that I'm grateful for, what is it that I want to achieve, and how I'm going to work to achieve my goals. Then I make sure that I work out. Before, I used to work out after my training sessions, but I find it much more beneficial to work out before my training sessions. Hop in the shower and make sure that it's as cold as possible. Even right now, as it's, in February and winter, I still take my cold showers, and I do my affirmations in the morning, because I don't like to be, I realize that especially early in the morning, I have to be able to be uncomfortable to be in a high stress or a high, in a really intense environment like it is when you are in the market, especially at market open, when you're waiting for that down to be 6:30, you're like, all right, it's go time. So that's what I do to prepare myself pre-market, and then after, and during is really important to like journal or documenting like my emotions or like what's happening in the market. I know that it seems kind of weird sometimes I'm talking loud, but I talk like to myself about what's happening in the market. All right, so price is hitting this, this level. All right, don't go in yet. Oh, it's a bearish candle. It's a bullish candle, depending on, what my trade plan or what my bias is at the time. Making sure that I'm verbalizing and articulating that, and I'm hearing that, so it's not, because if I'm in my head, you can get lost in your own thoughts, and that can get into a very slippery.
I love those habits so much. Many of those are what Kendra and I also do, with the exception of I'm not a cold shower fan. So that's all you guys. But thank you for sharing, because those are really powerful things. Y'all are crazy. Carry on.
I was going to say, Francisco, I love how you coach yourself, how you talk out loud. Like, that is so freaking important. Becky and I have played around with the idea of, I think it was one of the books we read, where they say to actually like record yourself, while you're trading, and you listening to what you're saying. And because if you could say it out loud, like you said, versus just in your head, it does make a difference. You're going to acknowledge and be so much more aware and mindful of what you're thinking versus what you're doing, what your intentions, what your behavior, how it's all aligning. So good job. Thanks for sharing those tips with us.
I was going to say, like, I have a library of Loom videos of me just like, if it's a good trade, it's like, go, go, go. And then it's like, all right, take that loss. So I got a library of them. So like, it helps. But,
it's documented so that you can look back and feel like what your experience was in that moment, and what you were going through, and what was positive, and when it started to turn, and how your body reacted. You can learn from that, actually. Our trading friend Yashwant is the one who told me, he's like, when you record your trades, also record your face, because when you review it afterwards, you can see when you are like holding your composure and awareness and calmness versus when you start to lose it and your face gets a little weird, and like the stress. So, I mean, that's really powerful that you do that and have done that in your growth as a trader. So we've heard that. Okay, got another question. So we all know how critical discipline is to keep our trading healthy and sustainable. What does discipline in your trading process look like? And what do you do now? Because you mentioned FOMO earlier, and that's a never ending battle for us traders. So how has that progressed for you where you're better with it? And what do you do for discipline management?
So I have made sure that I'm like constantly breathing. So I have like this little breathing tool that helps me like yeah, but like intake and then you like blow it out slowly. So it's like it's like a
Your
little
mouth?
tool. Yeah, you put it in your mouth.
Oh my gosh.
And so that helps me, breathe it in for about 4 or 5 seconds, hold it, and then let it out slowly. So that helps me with my breathing. Um, I also have like in big bold writing, like what are my money setups and questions to ask myself before I take a trade. And if after a trading session, and if I didn't adhere to either my trading setups or my rules, the sheet or the questions to ask myself before I take the trade, and what was I thinking beforehand, and make sure that I journal that as well. Um, Repeating these affirmations or patience over impulse. I choose discipline over motivation, and I choose progress over perfection. If I repeat that over and over again during my trading sessions, and I'm adhering to my trade plan, it's usually a smooth sailing, you know, trading session. If I don't, for whatever reason, if I woke up late, didn't get to work out or whatever, and I'm able to be aware of what I wasn't able to achieve, then make sure that I document that as well. So I haven't come up with a checklist, but I think it's coming up with a checklist. That's going to be another evolution in my trading journey, is not only have the questions to ask myself before I take the trade, to make sure that I'm following one of my money setups, and then to also make sure that everything that is aligning to my own trading style is manifested in how I'm taking my trade. Otherwise, before I could just take a trade over, I don't know, the trend line for my family. So make sure that it's something that it's really unique to myself and my trading style.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that you brought up a checklist. I actually used to have one of those as part of my post trading process then. Remember, Becky? It was the slide I made with the big iceberg. And yeah, so I'll share that with you. And, I don't know, maybe I can like evolve it. So,
Grow
and
together.
put that back into my system, because it does feel nice to kind of, go through it after your performance. And, it feels good when you were able to, maintain those standards. And then it shows you like in your face when you didn't, right? So we know trading is just very different from most careers, and it just really takes the next level dedication and determination to stay in the game. Am I right, guys? For sure. Okay, so at Market Mamas, we just believe there has to be a major why factor, to keep that relentless and unstoppable endurance that our journeys require. So what has been your greatest force, Francisco? Driving force?
So for me, it's my boys. I have a 2.5-year-old. Well, he's going to be 3 in April, and a 7-month-old who are just my biggest motivation in life. Additionally, it's been a real journey from my upbringing as being a advocate for not only my parents and family, for myself, my community. Now as a professional, to provide not only opportunities that are beyond my own limited beliefs or my own ingrained beliefs of what is possible from early on, but also to expand the spheres of possibility for those who have also been ingrained with those similar beliefs and are kind of like stuck in ruts or in communities where they feel forgotten or like really disinvested from. And so that's kind of where my motivation really, takes foot in terms of wanting to not only provide myself with time and energy to kind of share this type of knowledge with as many people as possible, whether that's a year from now, whether that's tomorrow, whether that's 50 years from now, I'm still, but it's really about, taking care of myself and taking care of my cup, but also filling up as many as I possibly can for those who I love and those who I share. So that's my motivation to continue.
Francisco, you are like one of our people. Like you're speaking the Market Mamas mantra right now because, I mean, we obviously are mamas, parents, so we want to create a better life and a bigger goal, dream, aspiration, pursuit for our children as an example. But then also like, there's so many people that don't know that they can choose to work hard at something that seemingly is out of their realm and actually really achieve. And so that's like the core of what Kendra and I are trying to put out there in this world is that you don't have to be like a master's in finances to be a successful day trader. You can be whoever and be a parent and someone who loves your community and your family and just want to put in the work to really get somewhere. So I'm so glad that you came on with us today because you're really just speaking our language and putting out the same energy that we want to provide to everyone who's trying something really hard for their lives and their families and their communities. So thank you so much for that.
Yes, you are speaking for the Market-Dadas out there. So thank you for doing that. And we know there's more of you out there. Francisco just gave us a wonderful account of his journey and his reason why, he's pursuing this and working towards his financial freedom. And the impact you're going to have is going to be amazing. So thank you for sharing, your goals and your purpose. This is our life assignment. And I have a call to action for everyone out there, Market Mom community. Like, let's show up for each other and share your stories, reach out to us. We would love to have more people on our show, not even just traders, just anyone who wants to come on and, we can all add value to each other's life with whatever your pursuit is, whatever your, life experience is, however you're trying to grow. So thank you all for joining us today. We will definitely welcome you back on the show. If you will come back in the future, it would be amazing to have you back with us. So thank you for being here, giving us your time and sharing your journey with us.
Happy to be here. Incredibly grateful to join you, Becky and Kendra, on your podcast, and keep moving forward and keep up the trading.
Yes, our trading days are ahead.
Yes, onward we rise. The power in community. Okay, thank you, Francisco. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here with us. We'll be back soon with another episode.
Take care, everyone. Bye.